This is the Jug O Sip podcast.
Which is why I came up with this theory that I call the outpatient theory. And I told this to Lindsay a few months ago. My theory is that Harley Quinn, when she first met the Joker, when she saw him, she wasn't actually in love with him. She fell in love with the idea of curing him. And she came up with a plan that basically would play on this man's psychosis and
his narcissism.
And she was going to basically use his psychosis against him as a way to cure him by making him realize how messed up his own behavior was. But she ran into some problems because she was in Arkham Asylum. She was an intern there, first of all. She didn't have, it took her 3 months just to get in the same room to get one session with the dude. And she wanted to lead an entire project centered around curing him. Eventually, when you're in that situation, facing those obstacles, especially when you're a young woman, the next conclusion is, I got to get this guy out of Arkham Asylum. I'm going to turn him into an outpatient, which led to her coming up with the persona of Harley Quinn in the first place. That's basically the theory.
She was highly ambitious, and it's not unlikely that she got in over her head of her own idea. Her idea, in theory, wasn't horrible. To take a narcissist, because what's the best way to win a narcissist over? Kiss their ass, make them feel like they're special, but play back their crazy at them, because narcissism reacts to narcissism.
Yeah.
And if you're like, oh, you're such a genius, Mr. J, you're so handsome, I love you so much, oh my God, are you so good?
And if you saw the first episode she was in, that's exactly what happened. Most of her dialogue was just that.
Just a bunch of ass kissing bullshit, but he was into it.
Right, he was into it.
And she's like, well, fuck, he's responding. What she didn't realize is he was too much of a fucking wild card.
Yeah.
To make sense of that, because he, in theory, it's logical, but she was reacting like this was a consistent person.
Yeah, that's what leads me to the B part, or the next part of my theory. Let's say this is what happened. Harley Quinn wasn't in love with the Joker. She just wanted him to believe she was, to try and, manipulate his narcissism or whatever. She was manipulating his ego.
Stroking the fuck out of his ego.
The problem is Harley Quinn, there's evidence throughout her entire backstory that says that this girl is very ambitious, even beyond her limits. I mean, someone who's willing to have sex with her professors just to get her degree and not study on the same end. She's got sort of a shortcut type ego. And she overinflated her abilities in a lot of ways.
She tried to put too much on her plate, and she's notorious for that. Because if she's sleeping with professors just so she can keep up with her scholarship and this, that, and the other, obviously she's notorious for putting too much on her plate.
So when she met the Joker, the first thing she thought is, well, I'm a very intelligent woman, which she was, that is capable of, dealing with anybody and anything. What about the Joker makes him so special? But what she didn't count on is the fact that the Joker is... First of all, the Joker, in my opinion, probably isn't even clinically insane.
He's just a beta weak male who loves himself too damn much.
I think part of the reason why Harley Quinn ultimately, no matter how you look at her, ends up being completely destroyed by the Joker is because the Joker is completely misunderstood by his environment.
Yeah.
Gotham deals Batman as of from the beginning, Batman and Gotham deals with the Joker like he has a psychological disorder. I don't believe that's the case. I'm of the opinion
aside from narcissism, he's perfectly stable. He's just a bitch.
I'm of the opinion that humans are a lot more complex than just being able to root them down to a psychological disorder. I believe
not always, no.
The Joker is a combination of things beyond the psychological. I think the Joker's real deal is that he was a very weak human being who was entitled and believed that, life just owed him more. And one day, that entitlement it smacked right up against reality once again in the worst possible way, in the form of, if you read The Killing Joke, it came in the form of him losing his wife. He lost his career. He was being blackmailed by the mafia to make money.
It does vary on the version of the Joker you're thinking of too. Definitely.
Right. And of course, in The Killing Joke, he says this could be one possible past. He lies about his past a lot.
Yeah, that's his thing.
If you understand jokes, there's a kernel of truth in every joke.
Yes.
But that being said, I think what happened to the Joker is he's a weak human being that realized he was in a city full of crazy people, and if he out-crazied everyone... You can find the Jug O Sip podcast on YouTube and Spotify every Monday and Friday.
And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow at Jug O Sip Podcast on all social media.